So today I wanted to try something different. I thought, well, I haven't done a whip and chat in a while, but I really wanted to try and do whip and chat with stitching. So I thought, well, why not like pick up a simple cross stitch kit and try to stitch it together with you. So obviously you can join me and you can either work on stitching something stitchy as well, or you can also work on diamond painting or any other craft that you like, or you can just I don't know, clean your house and listen to me just ramble about nothing. Whatever suits you. I just wanted to record a short kind of whip and chat kind of thing, and I wanted to start including cross stitch in these as well, because I have been stitching a lot. I think lately I may have actually done more cross stitching than diamond painting, so I kind of wanted to incorporate that as well in my channel. So today I wanted to work on this kit. Well, initially actually I wanted to work on a different kit that I unboxed in my previous video, which I will link up there. Sorry, I'm on the Zoom, but yeah, up there in the eye above. So I recently unboxed a lovely small kit from the Owl Forest Embroidery. And I really wanted to do a stitch along on that one, but not a stitch along, sorry, a stitch with me on that one. But then I unboxed it and I realized that it's got variegated threads in it, and I thought maybe that's not too good for my first stitch with me, because I realized that I have no idea what I'm doing with the variegated threads. That may be fun to record anyway, and I may give it a go at some point in the next few days. Just kind of that may turn into a fun video of me trying to figure out what to do with variegated threads. But for now, I thought I'll start with something relatively straightforward. This is a much simpler kit in a way that I'll show you. Well, if you've seen my floss tube, you'll be familiar with this, but this is a kit from Historical Sampler Company. It's a wedding, what is it called? Scandi Heart Wedding Sampler. And it's a very lovely and colorful kit. As you can see, it's got these lovely like flower and heart motifs, butterflies, birds. So it's very cheerful, very kind of folky design. And I started stitching it, I think last week it was that I started. And it's a very lovely kit to work on. It's relatively simple actually. So it comes with this white Aida. So in case if you may be new to cross stitch, well, I don't know if you probably aren't, but who knows, maybe there are some diamond painters watching this who haven't really done much cross stitching, or maybe even any cross stitching, but have been curious about it. Sorry, I keep knocking my camera. I have it's been very difficult to set it up on with what I have, but well, hopefully it'll be fine. I'll try to knock it too much, but I apologize for any bouncing in advance. But so what I was going to say, if you are potentially new to cross stitching and it's something that you've been curious about, just to give you a little background, Aida is one of the fabrics that you quite often get with, especially with kids, but also I think it's a very good fabric to start with. I've been kind of having this discussion with someone recently who was asking about Aida, and it's the first impression usually with Aida is that it's very stiff. So here this kit comes with 16 count Aida. It's just a white Aida, and yeah, somebody was saying that it's a very stiff fabric, and indeed if you see the edge of it, it's not the kind of soft, like for example linen, it's much softer, and this is quite a stiff fabric, and this is already, I've worked on it for a while, so this is already softened up, but when it initially arrives to you, you'll probably notice that it's a very, very stiff fabric. My general experience is that it does soften up as you work on it, and then also you can wash it in like maybe lukewarm water. You can also put some mild detergent, like I put a detergent I use for hand washing, like Delicates. So that works well as well in case you ever need to wash your cross stitch. If you're using just Aida cloth and that's not hand dyed, and you're just using like DMC threads, then you can safely wash it and nothing bad will happen to it. so then generally it tends to soften up a little bit, but it is it's probably not the most pleasant fabric in terms of like the looks and feel of it, but it is very good for beginning because it's got these big holes, so you can very easily count the holes. And the whole difficulty with starting cross stitch initially is that you have to count and you have to know where to put your stitches. And on other fabric types, it can be difficult to count, which I've actually been experiencing lately on something else I'm working on. I think I've jinxed myself in my last floss tube. I said that I didn't have any issues working on linen, and then this week has just been a nightmare for me working on linen. So sometimes it's good to have big holes, you know, for easy counting, and that actually makes me work on this design quite quickly, because, you know, I can quite easily see where I'm meant to put my stitches. This kit is also very symmetrical, so it's much easier than to see where the stitches should be going. It's also actually, if you make a mistake, it's much easier to frog it, to unpick it if you work on Aida. So it's just something in case you were interested. And you will see that my crosses go from kind of in a little square, right? So from one corner, so it's like between four corners or four holes of Aida cloth. And so that's something that we call, I work, okay, I'll show you because I need to pick a new thread anyway. By the way, I've got this lovely needle minder here. I don't know which way it should be going. But this one, it's lovely, isn't it? It's beautiful. Yeah, so I love needle minders. This is I don't really collect a lot of accessories in general, but I do love needle minders. But anyway, so I'm going to, as you can see, I've done this little leaf, and then I'd like to continue to the other two leaves, which are missing here. So I'm just working right now on this, where the bird is sitting. So the bird is sitting on the little stalk, which is a bit weird, I know, because birds don't grow on stalks, but this one is. So I'm just filling in the leaves for that one. And so these are my threads. So they come, so they come on this thing. So they all have like numbers, and they all have their names, and you can look at the legend. So in my case, well, I can't show you the pattern, but the legend tells you which color corresponds to which symbol. And so based on that, I know that for the leaf, I need the light green. And I've already taken my light green from here. So the lime green here, number 3348. And they normally, so the floss, the DMC floss comes in 6 strands. So let me see if I can, I don't know, that may be hard. But this is the end. So the end of my floss, you can see that there are separate strands. Now this one I've already used, by the looks of it, I've used 2 different strands already. So normally originally comes in six strands, and then you can pick one of them, and the easiest way is just to pull it. You can hold the rest and just pull one of them that way, and it just comes out generally, and you can just remove the rest, and basically you end up with this little tangle of, well, it's not a tangle, but like a little ball of floss, and that's your rest of the strands that we're not going to be using for now. And then this is the strand that I want to be working with. And I normally use, generally when you first start cross stitch, you'd normally work with 2 threads of floss. But what actually it's easier to do is to just take one and fold it in half, so that you kind of, so that you, the 2 ends of the floss come together. So you fold it in half, and that way you make this one strand of floss into 2. Right, so you kind of, because you've folded it over, you have now 2. But on one end, basically you have this end, well, with your 2 ends, and on the other end you have a little loop. And that is very useful for starting, especially when you first start cross stitch. This is a really good method for starting your first cross stitch. So it's like your first cross, so because somehow you need to anchor it on the fabric so it doesn't escape. And well, when I was small, I always thought you need to make knots, but apparently you don't need to make knots. There are lots of other ways of starting and finishing your threads. And the loop method is my absolute favorite. And whenever the design calls for working with 2 threads, or if I feel like working with 2 threads, I basically try and use the loop method if I can. So basically now I'm going to thread my needle. So I don't know if I can do it on the camera. I need to actually look at this closely. So I normally lick my floss, which is not, you know, probably not very appetizing. But there we go. So now I've threaded my needle. This is gonna be tricky. I don't know how people do this. But for the loop start, if you're new to cross stitch and you were ever wondering, the loop start is very, very easy. You just need to know where your first cross stitch is going. So I'm just going, well, I think I know, but just to double check, because well, I always get very annoyed if I put my first stitch in the wrong place, because it's harder to take it out if it's a loop. Yes, so okay, so I'm just going to put my first stitch in here, in this hole here. So I stitch, now this is, I noticed on YouTube that this is kind of unique to me. So it appears to me that most people stitch by first of all going in that direction. So like diagonal from the bottom left corner to the upper right corner. And then their second leg of the cross goes from on that diagonal, so from the bottom right corner to top left corner. Now I go the other way around, and I don't know why, you know, why all the other people seem to be doing it the other way, but I like to be different. I didn't do that consciously, but that's how I started cross stitching, and I keep always doing my crosses the same way. I thought about maybe one day switching direction, but I'm so used to it now, I'm not going to, because I think this will be very risky at this point. I will probably get very confused and have half of my stitches going one way, half the other, and will just be a nightmare. But it's always good to have all your crosses going the same direction. So my advice is just make up your mind which way you want your crosses to be going and just stick to it. You can try both ways, because maybe you prefer one than the other, but just stick to the one that you've picked. So I always start my cross, well, if I have a new cross, I always start it in the top left corner of my cross. So that's when I stuck my needle right now. And then I pull my needle through and go all the way until I can just see like the very beginning of so when I see my loop, which should be there soon. There it is, it's coming. So we have that. This is very tricky on the camera. So we have that lovely loop, and I just keep that loop there. And now, so my loop is coming from that top left corner, and now my needle will go from the opposite on the diagonal. So we'll go from the bottom right corner. That's where I put my first leg of my cross stitch, and I just put my needle through the loop, pull it off, and that's my first leg of my first stitch. And then after that, it's super easy. I go back down to the same hole I just came from, so that bottom right under the loop. So basically, if you can see, I've kind of squeezed my needle underneath the loop. And then I just pull the needle through again. There we go. I think I knocked my camera, so it's bouncing now. But basically, that's the first leg of my cross. And now I will try and do my second leg, which you can go to either of the other corners. I'm going to go to the bottom, which maybe was a stupid idea, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And then I go to the upper right corner, and that way, let me see, that way now I have my full cross. And that's it. That's all it takes to do cross stitch. That is literally it. And the beautiful thing about Ada is that you can very easily see where your square is. So we do something that's called, in cross stitch terms, it's called 2/1. And if you ever watch FlossTube and you get confused when people say 2/1, 2/2 or whatever, this is what 2/1 means, which means that you're not skipping any holes. You're just going from one hole to the next hole, kind of. So the next, so your diagonals go from here to here. You're not skipping through any holes. And then, sorry, that's some weird vehicle motor motorbike or something passing. And then so you're not skipping any holes, and you're using 2 strands of thread, yeah, or in my case 1 strand which is folded into 2, but anyway it's the same thing as using 2 separate strands, and that's what we mean by 2/1. So that's just in case you're new to cross stitch and you're wondering about these things. Now my snail kit is actually came with linen. So that's a bit different, and that's not 2/1. So if I am doing my other video with that snail kit, I can try and show you what's the difference when you work on linen compared to Aida, which is, Aida is 2/1, and the other one will be 2/2. But I recommend, if you have never done cross stitch before, Aida is probably the best way to go. Just to get used to it, just to get used to counting, to making your stitches look the same, and also because they're nice and big on Aida, so usually with kids you'll get either 14 count or 16 count, which are like really nice and big squares, so they're very easy to see. So that's probably the best way to start, and then if you really don't like Aida, you can then switch to other fabric types. I tend to still use Aida for some of my projects, especially the ones that I'm really not sure about counting. Like if there are many gaps or many, I know that I'll have to like the counting will be difficult. I actually prefer Aida because linen I'm finding very difficult to count. Another option is even weave, and even weave is kind of in between, and you can work 2/1 on even weave as well. And that kind of can be an alternative as well if you don't like the feeling of Aida. Even weave may be a better option for you. But I can go more about these differences in like my following videos. If I show you different projects with like some on even weave or some on linen, and explain some more of these differences. I think for today we'll stick to Aida, which is this lovely thing here. And then, of course, if you try cross stitch, you can then make up your own mind about what you like and what you dislike. But this is just to give you a little intro. I thought I'll do it since I'm working on it, and in case you are not familiar and you are wondering. And now I'm just going to keep going. Now I'm not going to show you the pattern, but I need to see the pattern to know what I'm doing. I mean, the good thing. The good thing is that this pattern is quite straightforward in terms of like a lot of things are predictable. As to like you can predict where the next stitch is going. The leaves are actually, I'm not that sure myself where all the stitches are going, so I need to have a look at my pattern. So if I stop talking, it's probably because I'm trying to figure out where I am and where my next stitch should be going. And what was I gonna say? So one thing about the leaves, the good thing about the leaves is, for example, that top leaf will be exactly the same as the bottom leaf, so I can just kind of copy the stitches from that one, so it will be a bit easier to do that one. But for now I'm working on this one, and you see for my next stitch I went to that bottom hole. Rather than starting on the top left, I started in the bottom right. I'm still going to go on the same diagonal, so I'm going to go this way and then go that way and make my first leg. The reason why I'm going to the other hole is because my last stitch ended in that top hole, so if I went through the same hole I would just take my thread back and basically undo my previous stitch. So that's why. So it kind of depends as well which direction you're going and which way you prefer to make your stitches. I think everybody finds their own way of doing it, and to be honest I vary it a lot. I vary a lot how I do my stitches. So sometimes I will go to the top hole, sometimes I will go to the bottom. It kind of depends which direction I'm going with my stitches as well. Right. So anyway, I'm finding this design really, really lovely to work on. I love the colors on this one. I love the fact that the threads, they come very nicely organized, and they come with DMC numbers. So in case if you ever run out of any, or if you ever wanted to recreate this chart again, you can very easily buy the threads yourself and do it again. So I like it because a lot of kits don't give you the thread numbers, and I find that very annoying personally. I think they should give you the thread numbers, like the DMC numbers. Yeah. So So maybe I should tell you something different, so you know, a different topic. So yeah, I've been doing a lot. Well, this is not quite a different topic, but this week I've been doing again quite a bit of stitching. Not so much on this kit. This kit I only picked up today. So today is Saturday, and so last time when I was on FlossTube, I showed you I didn't have any of these green things. So I did this today. And then during the week I just did this green stalks, and now I'm just doing the leaves. So I'm trying to finish this kit because quite quickly, because my friend is getting married and I want to give it to her and her, well, to be husband when they get married. And that's coming quite soon. That's coming in September. So this is why today I'm prioritizing this kit, because during the week actually I worked on some other things. So I did a little bit of diamond painting. I worked on my Starry Night from Van Gogh, the one that I showed you on my last diamond painting update. And I really want to record another diamond painting update. I just don't feel like I have so much to show, so I've been holding off until I have more progress to show. So I was thinking maybe if I complete like another section from the Starry Night, or you know, maybe possibly go back to my mulberry tree and complete a section from that, then maybe there'll be a bit more to show. So I may try and record my diamond painting update in the next few days, depending how much diamond painting I do. But I have worked on the Starry Night. I also, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen they also started another project, which I also showed you on my last diamond painting update. I started the kit from Dreamer Designs that I had kitted up a long time ago, and I thought I was going to work on during spring. Well, I finally started it. Oh, not. So these knots, they sometimes happen, and sometimes if you don't pull too hard, then you can undo them with your fingers. I have a bit of trouble with knots. They don't always happen. I find that generally, if every now and then I pull my thread a little bit through the needle, so that it moves through the needle, like so you know how you have two ends of your thread, and you have that one here, so you can pull it in either direction a little bit, and that generally helps to prevent tangles. Or you can let your needle hang like this in the air for a bit, and then it unwinds, and that also helps to prevent tangles. But I get knots regardless of what I do. Generally lately I've been getting less of them. Well, it kind of depends on the week, to be honest. Some weeks I don't get any knots, and some weeks, like this week, I've had an absolute nightmare with knots. So I don't know if it's dependent on the weather, on my mood, but anyway, this week has been not crazy. Yes, so but yeah, these knots, they do happen. And generally, try to, if you see that the knot starts happening, I would say try not to pull your thread too hard. Try to actually undo the knot from the other side. So try to like stop pulling basically with your needle, because if you pull it very tight, it's very hard to undo the knot. Where am I? I'm feeling like I'm probably doing this wrong because I'm talking to you guys. Yes, so what was it? No, that's fine, okay. So yes, so I started another diamond painting, which is good. So I'll show you that on my next diamond painting update. But I haven't had any other new starts. So I finished, as I'm sure you've seen on my channel, I finished my diamond shop, the Folkbird, and that was really good fun. I really enjoyed that one. And then I said on that video that I wasn't going to do any more diamond shop for a while. Well, no, that's not true, because I have one more that's from that previous order. But I said that I wasn't going to order anymore from diamond shop. And actually turns out that was a lie. But so that's kind of a bit of a long story, but basically I won a $10 gift card on Instagram, and also they had this Halloween sale, and there's this painting that I've been thinking about possibly getting, and it was on Halloween sale, so it was already discounted, and then I had my $10 voucher, and it still costed me a lot of money, so in a way maybe I shouldn't have done it. But I wanted to actually do it for Lizette's event, Lizette's Crafts and Tales. So she is doing this diamond painting it forward event, and I wanted to take part in it. And I've been telling you about some ideas that I had for that, and I actually thought this painting may be a nice one. So I'm not going to just yet tell you what the painting is. I may actually wait for it to arrive before I tell you the whole story and why I picked that painting. But well, enough to say that I actually did place an order with Diamond Shop. So that's that's the thing with me, that I may tell you one thing one day, and then yes, things happen, life happens, and well, I kind of, since I won the voucher and since there was a discount, I just decided, oh well, never mind. I'm just gonna be broke. I'm literally broke now. I really need to stop buying diamond paintings at this point, or cross stitch related things, because I keep buying cross stitch patterns as well that I don't have time to work on. And then when you buy a pattern, then you want to get a fabric for that pattern, and then you want to get the flosses for that pattern, and it all starts costing a lot of money. And I'm like, I don't actually even have time to start all these projects, so I really need to stop buying things. Oh, but I think somebody should lock my account so that I can't use it. Like, honestly, because I'm just buying too much stuff. I think we all have this problem, don't we? We all struggle with controlling the buying. It's part of the fun with crafting, isn't it? It's picking what to buy and then ordering it and then seeing what arrives, and then picking something to pick the flosses, pick the fabric, and all that kind of jazz. It's a lot of fun. So I guess it's very addictive in a way, and it's a very relaxing kind of thing, just going to the website and checking what patterns are there and what fabrics are there, and planning it all. So I think planning the project is almost as much fun as actually doing the project later. So yeah, so that's basically me. So I'm kind of trying to not buy any more diamond paintings for a bit. I still have lots of diamond paintings that I haven't unboxed, that are sitting in my stash, so I can unbox them for you. But I also don't want to post, a huge amount. I'll post an unboxing every now and then, but I don't want to post unboxings all the time, because I think it's a bit boring as well. So I'll try and vary it up and maybe include more cross stitch in my channel, depending. So basically in my channel, what I'll be posting depends largely on what I'll be working on. I think I'm completely messing this up. You may find out how to frog things in a minute. So let me just see where I am, because I'm completely lost in this. So, stitching and talking is never a good idea, is it? I mean, it kind of looks fine, but is it? Well, maybe it is actually fine. You wouldn't believe it. It actually looks like it's alright. I can't believe it, because I frog a lot. Especially with bits like this. So I can quite easily manage something like even like these things. Obviously they're very repetitive, so that's easy. Something like long lines, or I don't know. Yeah, when you have lines, or something like this, that's very easy. Obviously, it doesn't involve a lot of thinking. Or like even these little flowers. Obviously, there you know what you're doing. But whenever I have like these steps, when you have like 1 and then 2 and then 1 and 2 and there's no clear pattern. Steps, I usually miscount something and I have to frog it back. I don't know. I miscount a lot of things. I don't seem to be very good at counting, which is very frustrating, obviously. Because then you have to frog, and if you realize it very quickly, then that's fine. That's why now I try and check regularly whether I miscounted something somewhere, whether things align as they should be aligning. So I try to always double check that everything seems the same as on the pattern. But sometimes I don't check often enough and I think I'm fine. And then, a few rows later, I realize actually, oh no. I don't really have, lately at least, I've not had any massive disasters of miscounting, maybe realizing very, very late that I miscounted. So I usually realize within like, I don't know, 20 stitches that I miscounted. So frogging 20 stitches is you know, it's not great, but it's not so bad. Like I know that sometimes people have to frog hundreds of stitches. I've not yet had such a disaster, and to be honest, I don't know if I actually would bother frogging a few hundred stitches, because I hate frogging. I hate frogging even the 20 stitches. If I had to frog, I don't know, 100 stitches even, that's already a lot. If I had to frog a few hundreds, I would probably just give up and be like, oh, I'm just not gonna work on this anymore. If sometimes you can obviously adjust, so you can kind of make adjustments. So if you made an error, you can kind of incorporate that error into your project. So you know, there are ways in which you, like, when you don't, sometimes you don't have to frog, but you know, if it's a major error and it's very obvious, then you have to frog it. And if it's so large, I don't know if I would ever have energy to actually frog it all. I don't know. I guess it depends how much you care about the project, and also it depends on the fabric. So as I said, Aida, it's much easier to frog. Much easier to frog. But if I have to frog on linen, I no, that's a nightmare. Honestly, that's a nightmare. Okay. But so, well, because it's a whip and chat, I should also probably tell you a few things about my week. My week has been absolutely crazy. Well, it's not that different. I think last week I told you on my whip and chat that my week has been crazy and work has been crazy and I'm very stressed. Well, that's not really changed. It's actually gone worse. Yeah, so I guess life of a scientist in a hospital is stressful. So in case you don't know, just in case you just came across my channel, I have some new subscribers. That's actually, well, I'm going to talk about this in my next floss tube, because I don't think that many people are going to watch this. Well, not that many people are watching anything I do at the moment, but especially I don't think many people are going to watch this video. But just in case Kathy is watching it, Kathy from, oh my goodness, Crafty Cam. Oh, I forgot now what's the channel name. Give me a second. I'm going to find that out. Crafty Cat Stitcher. So Kathy from Crafty Cat Stitcher. She gave me a shout out. In her recent, like her very last floss tube. And I had no idea, obviously. So I saw that Kathy put up a new video. I saw it on my notification. I was like, oh, I have to watch this because I love Kathy. So I only just discovered her because she saw my last floss tube. And she left me a really, really lovely comment. And then I went to her channel and I was like, oh, this is a fantastic channel. She's just such a sweet and kind person. So I went to her channel and then obviously I subscribed and I'm like definitely going to watch her videos. And so I got notified that she just posted a video. And I was like, oh, that's great. I'll watch it when next time when I'm on YouTube, I'll definitely watch it. And I didn't think very much else about it. But then I noticed that within like a few hours, suddenly I had like 8 new subscribers. And that was after like 2 weeks of having maybe 1 or 2 new subscribers during that 2 weeks. And I was like, what's just happened? Why are suddenly people watching my videos? And I at first I didn't connect the two facts at all. But then it kind of occurred to me, oh, is that possible? You know, I didn't really believe it, but then I went to watch Kathy's video, and then she gave me the loveliest possible shout out in the world. It was just so sweet. She said such nice things that actually she made me blush and made me like almost cry. Like honestly, so moving. So that way, because of that, I have some new subscribers. So if you are one of the new subscribers that came to me from Kathy's channel, welcome to my channel. It's so great to have you here. I'm not showing you my face today, but I'm sure you've seen it on FlossTube, and it will be on my next FlossTube or whatever next video will I'll post with my face in it. But I'm smiling at you, and I'm really, really thankful that you came here and you actually watch my videos and you actually subscribing. I find it like super kind, and I always enjoy seeing that someone new has subscribed, and I always enjoy seeing comments from everybody. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for visiting my channel and for being here with me. But yeah, so basically, in case you are a new subscriber and you don't know who I am, I work as a scientist. So I'm just finishing my training now, and hopefully, well, I'm going to actually hear results of my exam probably next week, I think. So I'll let you guys know if I hear anything. But I'm hoping to, in autumn, be registered as clinical scientist. So that means that I work in a hospital lab. I analyze results from cancer patients. So we run tests and analyze results from them and then report them back to doctors. And that helps to diagnose their cancer or help to decide on what's the best treatment option for these patients. So I never thought that being a scientist can be this stressful, but it turns out to be more stressful every week. Well, I think the problem last week was that we've had a few people off, so we're a bit short-staffed. And then I was doing some analysis that I haven't done before, some also that I have done before, but things just kept going wrong. And then we have a person in the lab, she's a lovely, lovely person, a lovely girl, and she's very good at her job, but she's also just trained in this particular, so she's changed from one service to another, so she's just trained in this new test to her, and so she's also, I'm kind of new, and then she's kind of new, and we were trying to work through these issues together, and it wasn't easy. It was very stressful, and then you find out sometimes that that dealing with people can be as stressful as a well, people can make things difficult as well for you sometimes. But yeah, I think one of the difficult things with my job is that there is a bit of time pressure on some of the tests that we do. So some patients come to us very unwell, and some have like suspected acute leukemia, or some are very fresh post-transplant, post-bone marrow transplant patients, and they're waiting for the results. And these results are then helping the doctors decide what to do next, whether if they have like acute leukemia, or if they are maybe if their transplant worked and things like that. And we need to deliver these results very, very quickly. And then when things happen like the equipment breaking, or whatever else that happens in the lab, and various things can happen, then we have to try and resolve these issues as quickly as possible and still get these results delivered to patients quickly and on time. So we've had a bit of issues this week, this past week, and I had to try and be responsible, act as a clinical scientist, and I had to make some decisions, and I'm finding it quite stressful, because then I kind of have to also tell other people what to do when I'm not quite sure myself what's the best thing to do, but we have to try and do our best, basically. But it's been overall, it's been a bit of a stressful week in a way, but it ended on a positive note at work. Everything got resolved. We reported everything we needed to report, and we all finished on friendly and relaxed terms after all these difficulties that we've been facing. So it all ended well. But then at home also, my water heater seems to be playing up, and I'm now getting a little bit nervous about it. So I don't know, it just started, so I think, well, it started a few weeks ago that every now and then it would start dripping. There's this thing that I think is supposed to warn you in case something is wrong with the water heater. It starts dripping to this, there's like this special thing that's called, what is it called? Oh, it's got a funny name. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of videos about water heaters lately, which is hilarious. But it's got a funny name. And basically, it's like an indicator to tell you that you need to do something about your water heater. And there are some things that you can try and do yourself. So for me, when I tried to do them, then it seemed to stop for a few days. But now it seems to be starting again after a few days. And this week, my water heater seems to, like the past 2 days, it seems very unhappy, basically. So I've called my agent and well, I basically let my agent know, and he said, "Oh, send me a video of what's happening." So I sent him a video, but he said they were going to try and send an engineer as soon as they can. But you know, it was Friday, so I'm not sure. Hopefully next week, we can get something sorted so that somebody comes and look at it, because you know, I'm just stressing if I'll have to switch it off because well, it is. I think it can be unsafe if you have it on too much, because you know, if it's got any fault in it, it's a pressurized system with a lot of steam in it. So I'm trying now to just switch it on for you know, a couple hours just to get some hot water and switch it off so that there isn't any pressure build up or anything like that. But you know, hopefully I don't have to like completely switch it off so that I have hot water. But basically, well, that woke me up because I had it set up so that it worked in morning hours. That woke me up at like 3 a.m. The other night, that something was going on, and it's just one of these weeks when just things keep happening, you know. So it's just been a little bit like like I just need to sleep and just rest. So I picked up this kit today, you know, and it's actually really nice to work on because I don't have to think so very much. Like even now when I'm talking to you guys, I realize I'm just kind of stitching it. I'm really barely looking at the patterns. I'm hoping I'm stitching it right. But to be fair, I think nobody will know if this is right or not. But I think it's actually right. I think it matches the pattern. But yes, so the nice thing about this specific cross stitch kit is that it doesn't really require a lot of concentration, which is really lovely. Because the other one I've been working on during this week, or tried to work on, requires quite a bit of concentration, and I got really frustrated. As I said, I had some problems working on linen, and then I kept frogging, and I had knots, then I had floats breaking, and oh goodness me, just one nightmare. Yeah, so basically, I hope that you're enjoying this. Let me know in the comments if this is the kind of video that you may I mean, to be fair, I don't really think of this as a video because I don't really think people watch this. So you know, when I watch that's again, this is like I'm putting like the what do you call air quotes, right? Because when I switch on WIP and Chat, I don't normally watch the screen. I normally work on my own projects, and I just listen to the person talking. So I don't really expect people are watching this video. I'm actually maybe even hoping people are not watching because I think like I keep moving everything on the screen. So it'll probably make you very dizzy if you're watching this. But it's more just to give you something to look at occasionally if you like lift your head up from your own project or whatever you're doing. But just let me know if you know if this is working out for you. Basically, this is like a WIP and Chat but with a cross stitch twist to it. Wait, so I think I'm done with that leaf, so I'm going to go to this leaf now. I may go to this hole here. I'm nearly done with this thread, so after this I can try and show you how I end my threads in case you're interested in that as well. It's also not complicated at all. It's actually even less complicated than starting a new thread. Yeah, but so today I wanted to work on this kit because, as I said, I haven't worked on it during the week much, and I feel, you know, that I have to finish it sooner rather than later because I also want to frame it myself, which is easy. I have a very easy way of framing, especially for small kids, but I think that works for larger as well. So that won't take long, but I have to order a frame and I have to order the thing that I use to frame it. So what I discovered, I actually discovered it on Amazon and read some reviews and saw some finished pictures, and then wait, I can't see what I'm doing. Sorry guys. I need to actually have a look here what I'm doing. My thread got very short, so I can't actually see properly what I'm doing. Yes, I'll do maybe one more stitch and I'll finish my thread. But so I discovered this thing you can just get. Actually, I found it cheaper somewhere else after, but if you can get it on Amazon, and there are these self-adhesive, acid-free things like boards, like mounting boards, that you can use to frame cross-stitch pieces. And they're specifically designed for this, actually. And all you do, you basically cut it to your size that you need, and then it's a self-adhesive, so you just peel off the layer. and then you just stick your cross stitch kit to it. You don't even have to like you don't have to lace it or anything like that on the back. I just put a bit of tape on the back, and that's it. And then you just put it in your frame and it's done. It doesn't take a long time at all. It's perfect. So I'm just gonna do that. But I need to order that as well. So you know, I kind of have to get going with this and get it all finished on time. Okay, so this is the back of my project now. I've just turned it around. Don't laugh that it's messy, and also I should cut these little bits of floss, but anyway, but this is the back of my piece. And basically to finish my my thread, I just try and find a few stitches, and now actually I'm finding it really difficult on the phone because I normally put it very close to my face so I can actually see where the stitches are. But I generally I put underneath a few other stitches, but I want to find some tighter. I think, well, if I put it, oh, okay, here. Okay. Sorry, I keep knocking the camera. Oh, goodness me. Okay, this is going well. So I put it underneath a few stitches, just to kind of anchor it underneath. Oh, I think that I found one. Yeah, like this, and basically anchor it, and there we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so, and then I just cut off the end of my floss, my thread, like this, and that's it. Really, that's it. That's the floss done, and then you can start again with the new piece of floss. So I can just in case you've forgotten, I can show you one more time how I start. So again, I'm going to need to pick up, pull another strand from here. Okay. Pull another strand, just like this. Oh. Yeah, so let me guys know what you think. You know, maybe I shouldn't be doing these Stitch With Me videos. Maybe it's too much of chaos and mess and all that, and that's fine too. I'll just stick to diamond painting WIP and Chats if that's better. But I think it's good to try things in life. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't work out. I mean, this is life, isn't it? Yeah, but basically I'm just going to start this next floss, or next, what do you call it, thread? I never know what's the right way to call it. I'm just trying to get my needle. Now again, I just need to thread my needle. So okay, so we're threading the needle. There we go. Pull it through. So remember, I folded the strand into two. So I have, this is this end, and now I'm going to find my loop. So the loop is on the other end here. And then I'm going to again put it in the front. So now I just need to, so I'm going to start here because I know there's going to be a stitch here. So I'm putting it in the top left, sorry, for me top left, but you can put it in top right. That's how most people do it, I think. So don't listen to me really. But you know, you can pick any corner you like. I would just stick to one. Because otherwise you're going to really confuse yourself. And I'm just going to, so that you can actually see the loop, I'm just going to pull this a little bit like this. Okay, so that's my loop. And then I'm going to put my needle through the diagonal hole, right? So I'm going to put it on the bottom here. So on the bottom right now. And now I'm pushing the needle through the loop like this, and then just pulling it through the loop. And that's my first leg. Then coming back through the same hole as I just came up, yeah, underneath the loop, pull that through, and that's my first leg done completely. And then I just go through the other leg of the cross stitch basically, and that's it. It's very easy starting like this. I definitely recommend you do that if you can. Now you may have noticed I'm using something like this that holds your fabric on the edges, and that's called a Q-snap. So some people use hoops. I have a hoop somewhere, and I was actually thinking about using this morning, but well, then I stopped working on whatever I was working, so I didn't use it in the end. But because I've been taking the other project to work with me, to work over lunchtime, so I've been stitching it in hand, but I thought maybe that's part of my issue, why I'm having so many issues. So I was thinking maybe I'll dig out that hoop that I have somewhere and see if maybe I can try using a hoop, because maybe the issue is that I'm not having enough tension and I'm not seeing the holes clearly enough. So especially when you have things like linen, using the hoop can help you actually see the holes. So I may try using the hoop and seeing if maybe that will help me with whatever I'm doing. So I have a hoop somewhere that I haven't used in a very, very long time. Because I prefer either, so I usually use Q-snaps these days, but I also stitch in hand quite a bit. So depending how I feel. But I think I prefer stitching with Q-snap in general. Okay. So basically, I think, you know, maybe this has been, how long has this, oh my god, 50 minutes! 50 minutes, I can't believe it's been 50 minutes. Well, I've been rambling about nothing, completely nothing for 50 minutes. Well, yes, I think this is a good point to stop. So I'm not going to, you know, make you look at me stitching the other leaf. But basically this is kind of, you know, saying hello to all you guys, just catching up. Let me know in the comments how you are doing. How's your week been? And just, you know, what's been going on with you, and anything else that you feel like, you know, what do you think about this project? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you do cross stitch, or do you do diamond painting, or do you do other crafts? Let me know. And basically, you know, I love hearing from you guys, and I'm very, very grateful that you're here. If you managed to watch this far all the way to the end, well, I'm really impressed with you, and honestly I don't know why you kept watching this long, but it's so sweet of you to have been watching this long. If you're by any chance not subscribing to my channel yet, if you stayed this long, you may like it here, so you may want to subscribe. You can also give me a like, or a dislike if you really want to, which is also fine. I'll understand. And yeah, basically you can leave me a comment or drop me an email, whatever you like. But it's lovely to have you here, and I hope you're having a good week or a good weekend whenever you're watching this. And wherever you are in the world as well, you know, whether it's day or night, I just hope that you're, you know, all relaxed and safe and having a good time. And thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope to see you in my next video. So, okay. Bye!